Welcome to the Good Karma Sport Fishing Podcast. I'm your host, Captain Ryan Van Fleet. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in, and this is the annual Miami Boat Show episode. I think I talked about it last year, but I don't remember. It's been... Anyways, so, am I going? Hashtag Ben Affleck. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, what I would check out if I were going is the new SAT NAV system by Hilton's, okay? What it does, it basically is a plug and play into your Garmin system, and it's going to show you the latest SST shots, backflow eddies. It's pretty badass, okay? So, presently, you cannot, there's never been anything like this on the market except for serious weather and their whole fish finding technology, which I don't know nothing about, so I can't really give an honest review about it. But I have used Sirius in the past, and I have to say I didn't really like it except for the weather. So the whole Garmin antenna thing, and I talked about that years back. So, but I really like this, and I would highly recommend that you stop at the Hilton's booth and check it out. It's a waterproof box, and it's a plug and play basically that goes. It's compatible with Garmin, Ray Marine, and some other ones. But you'll have to get some more information when you go there. Pretty cool stuff, and it's something it's the first ever. So it's well worth stopping and checking this out. Now he's offering a boat show special for the box and a free 1 year subscription. I think that he's only offering it for a few select units according to his Facebook post, but the price he's got listed here on his Facebook page is $6.95, and I highly recommend that you check it out. SST systems, you should be utilizing SST systems now more than ever to watch weed formations and look for backflow eddies. You need all that stuff for dolphin fishing now if you're serious about it. If you're making the trip down here, I think Hilton's offers some monthlies, some weeklies, so if you're only here for a short time, you don't need to sign up for a month. He does have some awesome packages in there. So something that you're not going to find on a lot of other services. Most everybody wants you in there for a year. So check out hiltonsoffshore.com. Pretty cool stuff. No, I'm not sponsored by them. No, I don't get any discounts from them. I'm just sharing this piece of information because I think it's well worth it, especially what we have going on out there in the ocean with all these algae blooms and stuff. So whether we're going to see a big algae bloom this year, who knows? It's been a different winter. We may see some, we may see a whole bunch. I guess we won't know until it actually happens, or if it happens. So maybe we'll get a hall pass this year and we won't see any. So awesome. Again, stop by Hilton's. It's well worth checking out. As far as anything else goes, I have no idea. I don't really know, to be honest with you. But go have fun, hang out with your friends, and enjoy the boat show. Okay, so I'm getting asked about why I don't offer split charters. And I actually did when I first started. And I've been on split charters myself. And I got to tell you what, my experience with split charters has been nothing but rotten. And I'll share some examples with you guys. My first split I did a split down in Cancun years ago. And my wife and I were like, yeah, let's try it. Well, ended up to be a horrific experience. They matched us with people that really were it was a bad deal. We had one guy and his kid kept jumping on the rod and reeling in the fish, and then we had horrible weather. Melinda was in really bad shape to the point where I thought I was going to have to get her to an emergency room down there. And I actually told the captain that we need to something's happening with Mel. We have to get her back. And the captain said, no, we're on a split. Other people are paying and we have to get done with the charter. And then it was brutal. So I offered to pay for the entire trip and tip out the captain just to get her home. But he refused to get her back to the dock. And it was brutal. And I don't even know what else to say. So that was my first experience with a split. And the people that they matched us with, I got to tell you what, they were, I asked them, hey, can we take a turn on the rod? And the guy's like, well, my son wants to reel in the fish. And I was like, you should be respectful of my son. And then, then the guy got drunk and it was just brutal. I've seen split charters where you get a couple, and then the other couple, the husband hits on the guy's wife, or they show up and they're extremely drunk and they're seasick. I've heard a horror story from a client of mine. He was extremely excited about going into the Gulf and going fishing. He booked a split charter to do one of those long range golf trips on a private boat. And the guy in the other split group got violently ill. The captain had to stop and put him on a lesser fish hole, and he wouldn't go any further. But instead of taking the guy back, he finished the charter, and all they did was catch fish that were out of season, and so the captain could get paid. So instead of just taking the poor guy back and doing that, it's a tricky situation. So and that's what happens when you have splits. I won't do it. I've had some, like, when I started, I had some brutal experiences with couples and people, and I tell people, hey, you don't know what you're going to get. You may talk to that person on the phone, but then that person shows up drunk and hungover, pukes all day. Captain gets mad because he's violently ill, because they're drunk, and like that happens a lot more than people talk about. So a lot more, but I'm just telling you, that's why I won't do them. That's why I won't put people with people, because hey, it's different when you go and and you're fishing with some friends, but when you get set up on a split, man, you don't know what you're going to get. And that seems to be what people are doing now. And, everybody's trying to save a buck, and I totally get that. But, I also see a lot of people eating out and spending money on tackle. They show up, I'm like, hey, I tell people, hey, your best off is to take the boat on your own and eat out less. When we went on vacation and we would go on fishing charters, Melinda and I were budgeted for our vacation. And we both would sit down and say, this is what we can do and what we can't do. And these are the nights we can eat out. And we would go and get peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And that's what we would do, and enjoy the sunset and have some beers and some cocktails and enjoy our vacation. So we could spend our money on the fishing charters and afford to be able to tip the mates and all that good stuff. And I have to tell you what, one of the best trips I ever had was a super fun trip. And we were down in Cancun. We took the boat for 2 days, and with just Mel and I, and we fished with an awesome, awesome captain and crew. And, it was just amazing. We went bottom fishing, and I got pictures of myself. They literally were like, we were hooking fish, and they're like, it was just, well, the whole bottom of the boat was covered in fish. And I was just like, and we gave all the fish to the mates and captains, and Mel and I took a couple fish for dinner, and that was it. And the captains and crew were so excited because they could take the fish down there, they could sell it, and they could make some money and, help pay for the charter more as far as their fuel goes. We don't get to do that in the Keys. It's against the law for us to sell fish, and even under the table, if you sell fish, you can go to jail down here. So we don't do any of that. So, now, if you are going to do a split, you need to really seriously vet the person that you're wanting to make plans with, know them inside and out. You need to meet well ahead of time. And sometimes when you meet people on vacation, and you hang out for a couple days, and you're like, hey, you want to go fishing? You're like, yeah, sure. So we go fishing. So, but it could go wrong too. Mel and I did that in Honduras one year, and it went violently wrong. The girl was hitting on the captain. His girlfriend was hitting on the captain the whole time. And then the guy got pissed, apparently, that we didn't see the issues there when we first met him. And then, yeah, the fishing trip went south really fast because of that. So I'm going to leave it at that. But it was crazy. It was pretty brutal, actually. So that kind of stuff happens, okay? That kind of stuff happens when you have splits. So I'm just want to tell you guys the realistic stuff, and more than likely, if they're on a split, man, one guy's going to want to catch something versus the other guy. Everybody's got an opinion what they want to do, and one guy maybe just want to troll around for dolphin all day, and the other guy wants the action, so he gets mad at the captain and said, yeah, we want to go bottom fishing. We don't want to do any of this trolling stuff. So then the guy that likes to troll, he gets pissed. Then it turns into a shit show and people arguing, and then the mate's down there and the captain's up talking on his phone because he don't really care. So because I remember when when I first started, the captains were always would be like, that's why God created tuna towers, so we could be up there and they could be down here. So true story. So yeah, that's my podcast for the day. So my one little fishing nugget. I did want to talk to you guys about putting underskirts, what we call the squid skirts underneath the sea witches. I talked to Stan Ruhr about that. Back in the day, and I remember when I started running sea witches, I didn't do any of that stuff. And I do it now with bait strips, mostly just to protect the bait itself. And when I run ballyhoo, I never used to do it. And then Stan was like, yeah, it's everything like has evolved. And Stan, was like, sometimes when you add too much, it like defeats the purpose of the witch and the color, which he's exactly right. So a lot of guys that have the, like the crystal sea witch, the all white ghost sea witch, sometimes when you add a different color skirt, that ghost doesn't work properly. The color doesn't work. So, and he's like, now, it's like it defeats the purpose of me creating the witch, because it takes away and gauds it up, and like it doesn't act. And then people are like, oh, why didn't I catch anything with this? It hasn't produced. And then Stan will ask him, well, what type of, are you like adding anything to it? He's like, yeah, we're adding this color and this color. Well, that's not the way it was designed to work. So sometimes less is best, guys. Natural appearance of the bait. Bonito strips, and especially when I like to run the ghost witch with a small dink ballyhoo. This about my favorite size of bait is like an 8-inch bait. And when I'm running the all ghost crystal witch, my favorite underskirt is to use, my favorite bait, is to run it over a small dink ballyhoo. Yeah. So that's it for the fishing tip. And I really want to give a shout out to the guys that are in the rigging crew. And I hope you guys are enjoying the new Good Karma Sport Fishing rigging crew format. And something that I've been working on for some time. It's 100% different than last year. And it's awesome. Awesome. I really am very happy with it. Guys are thrilled to be getting this information that like most people are not going to get. They're not going to get it. So it's hard to find, and it probably won't be talked about in one of those seminars that's done every year. And yeah, it's hard to get the stuff that we're giving out. So if you want to get involved, you can email me at goodkarmaryan@gmail.com. There is a screening process, and I do not allow captains or mates in the group as well. So this is strictly for recreational fishermen. So if you'd like to get involved in Good Karma Rigging Crew 1 or Good Karma Rigging Crew 2, that's a more advanced meetings. We're meeting twice a month, more in depth as far as what I'm covering. Right now we're covering Wahoo trolling patterns, where to be in the Keys for the bite, and all that other good stuff. So it's pretty cool. I've got some technology that I'm using where I'm showing the guys my trolling patterns and where to be on certain currents and tides, and yeah, it's fun. So we're just cutting the years off the learning curve and sharing knowledge. So something that I been wanting to do for a long time in a very structured format that's private. So if you want to be part of it, give me a shout and we'll go from there. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have fun this weekend. Follow me on Instagram, Good Karma Sport Fishing _FL_Keys. If you're looking to book a charter, you can email me at goodkarmaryan@gmail.com. What are we doing as far as fishing goes? Not sure. March, it's all the typical stuff. March, tunas, wahoos, whatever bites, whatever bites. Hopefully some dolphins show up this year that are worth catching. Praying. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, anytime you're fishing, it's all good.